Wow. All right. Thought I'd come on a couple minutes early, get this party started. Wow. So, uh, this was originally supposed to be our Christmas show. That's right. We were supposed to be doing this on Christmas. But those who might have noticed it's not Christmas, even though it says nothing says Merry Christmas more than watches the classic French horror. Well, uh, gotta tell you, gotta tell you, me and the cheetah, we watched Martyrs today. Uh, yeah, and we're gonna talk about it, and we'll see what. Uh, mm, yeah, Betty, hi. This one might not be so good for you. This is uh, this is a pretty horrific movie. I just want to let you know that it's pretty horrific. Uh, might not be everybody's cup of tea. I'm going to put a disclaimer out there, which I've never done before, but this is not for the faint of heart. If you've not seen this movie, yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad movie. It's actually a good movie, but it is not for the faint of heart. It is a tough one. Um, yeah, um, but we will talk about it. Um, yeah, I know only 50. I need some help on that 50. Uh, but we'll get there. We'll get there. YouTube is having fun with the algorithm and keeps putting me up at 950, 951, 950. But I do know that once we get past like at that 955 mark, it'll take off again. I might even lose subscribers today for this one. The movie that we're talking about today. I might lose a few subscribers, wondering what the hell I'm doing reviewing a movie like this. Uh, but I'm going to stand by it. I'm glad I reviewed it. I'm glad I watched it. Um, and I'm glad that you guys are here to talk about it. Some of you guys know the movie's called Martyrs. It's a 2008 French film and French horror film. And I got to tell you, the French know how to do it right. The French, the French can make good horror, really good horror. And yeah, this is different, different. Um, but you know what? Let me play the intro here in a couple of minutes, and we'll get this party started. For sure. I will say that the director, writer, and director, I'm going to stand by this. Like I said, I'm going to stand by this movie. A lot of people know that it's really rough and it's really brutal. And but the director and has made some really good movies. And we'll talk a little bit about the actresses that were in this film as well. Um, yeah, this is a this is a little bonkers, that's for sure. Um, yeah, no problem, Betty. Yeah, I had to do a disclaimer for this one because um, the movie you can, if you're curious, if anybody's curious, and believe me, I'm sure there's some that will be after we get done talking about it. You can watch this movie for free on Tubi. This movie is on Tubi. You can watch it for free, and but if you do watch it, I would love for you to come back and talk with us about it if you watched it. There might be a few people that have come in today that have already watched it, so we will be able to discuss it a little bit. Um, yeah, but if you haven't seen it and you're curious, because because I've heard about this movie for a little bit. Um, I went ahead and I watched it. Now, this movie got remade. Uh, that's what Americans do, right? We see a great movie from overseas and we remake it. The movie that was remade, uh, 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 the movie that was remade here in the states doesn't even come close to this one. Yeah, I saw that. The Buzz Files reached 1,000. I know. How cool is that? And good for them. I'm so happy for them. Um, yeah, yeah. I've been stuck in a rut as far as our art goes. Okay. Well, I'm gonna hit the intro. I'm gonna hit the intro, and then we'll wait for a few minutes to see if anybody comes in, and then we will be talking about martyrs. Here we go. Welcome to the Midnight Society. I'm your host, Patrick. Uh, we had hopes that the Bat would be joining us today for this show, but that Bat was not able to make it. So we'll be carrying on in the Bat in the spirit of the Bat. We'll have the Bat in spirit, and tonight we'll be talking about 2008 Martyrs. Uh, and I can already see some people have already commented. Yes, Garcia, Castalar Garcia has mentioned this is a vicious film. Yeah, yeah. I did give a disclaimer before the intro. I will give another one out. This is a disclaimer that this movie that we're talking about today features some graphic violence. It's a very disturbing film. It is not for the faint of heart. This is a truly a horror film in every sense of the word. Um, and it is scary. Won't lie to you about that. This movie is disturbing, scary. It is twisted. Um, so, yep. Uh, yeah. Hey, Echo, how are you? How are you? So tonight we're talking about Martyrs. Like I said, there's two versions made. There was the original French version made in 2008. It was written and directed by Pascal. Let's see if I can say his name because I might not be able to say his name. Uh, Pasquale Laugier. Uh, he's actually a really good director. I've seen his work before, actually, in a movie he did called The Tall Man. Um, that came out with star Jessica Biel and William B. Davis. And I saw that was actually made for the American markets, and I saw that at the theater. And that movie is actually really good. I really like that. He also did a brief acting role. He was also in the Brotherhood of the Wolf as an actor, but as a director and a writer, he has done some fantastic movies. He also did a movie called Incident in a Ghostland, which is another spooky movie that we'll probably end up talking about on the Midnight Society as well. And again, he also did The Tall Man, and he's also for American series. He also directed an episode of 13, the series, way back when. He makes movies both here and in France. So, and he's also a writer. He writes a lot of his. He's written a lot of his movies, including Martyrs, um, that we're talking about today. So Pascal knows his way around the movie, that's for sure. This came out, like I said, in 2008. It absolutely polarized the audience. There's people that were going out of the theater. They could not handle this movie. They left en masse. This was not an easy movie to watch. It was called a French new extreme horror, which Pascal did not like that. He did not like his movie being labeled as extreme, and that is really up to definition. What is extreme? Um, I wow, yeah. This was tough because it walks such a thin line, and I do mean a thin line. In fact, it's razor thin between a horror film and a torture porn. I went with horror. I did not see this did not bother me. I did not think This was a torture porn film, even though many might disagree with me on that. Um, but there is a story there that they're trying to drive. Pascal's trying to drive, and the scenes that he shows in the movie do move the movie toward its ending. It's not exploitation. It's not exploitation. It is driven. There is a reason why you're seeing what you're seeing. You may not like it too much. In fact, some of you would probably sit there and say, "Oh, hell no," uh, but others understand. If it's a horror film, it has a moving story. It's just like, let's put it this way: as bad as graphic this movie is, um, it does have a story. It does move it. But what I say is it any more than is it worse than any of the American slasher films? No, I would say definitely say Martyrs is a better movie than 90% of the American horror that I've seen. This is a very good movie, but it is a hard movie, and it is one that, like I said, is not pleasant. All right. Let's see. Echo saying doing good, working on videos. Good, good. Let's see. I already got down to. I had two. Now I'm up to four. All right. You guys are holding in. You're holding in with us. Anthony says, I'm doing good. Next Sunday is your 4-year anniversary on your YouTube channel. I promise you next week, Anthony, I will give you a shout out on the Midnight Society for celebrating your 4-year anniversary. Okay, so who's still here? So far, I see Echo's here, Tiffany's here, Anthony's here, and Betty is probably gone. I don't blame her. I would not want my friends to watch this movie without any warning, because I would not want them upset at me saying, "What the hell did you make me watch this for?" Um, I'm I didn't. Well, this is one of those. This is one of those times because of my lack of skill as far as putting trailers in and stuff like that. This is actually going to benefit us today because if you really want to see this movie, you could punch in on another browser. You could punch in the trailer for Martyrs 2008, or you can also go to Tubi and watch it on Tubi for free. All right, so let's get into this movie, shall we? Um, so the movie, it opens up, and it opens up in 1971, 71. So they definitely, and what we do, at the opening credits are coming on, we see a young girl who is running. She looks to be maybe about 10 or 11, maybe 12, and she has been captured. She's been captured. She's been living in an abandoned building. There's a news report that shows the reporter walking about this empty building where this girl Lucy was captured and had escaped. The the reporter walks through the building and explains what we're seeing. This movie's in subtitles too. I mean, there's subtitles, so you have to read it because it's in French. So it explains how this little girl was kidnapped and trapped, and that she had been captive there for a year. And she escaped, and she had been running down in the middle of the road, crying and screaming. And they explained it through the reports of how she, how she escaped and whatnot. Of course, the building that once we go inside, we find the building has been emptied. So then we meet, then we see Lucy at an orphanage. She has been banged up a lot, and she's really skittish. And one of the other young girls at this orphanage, her name is Anna. Uh, she, though it's very difficult at first, but she does reach out and she tries to make friends with Lucy. And Lucy keeps on saying how she's being possessed, she's being chased by a demonic woman, and that this demon woman is trying to hurt her, and so she has a very, very hard time sleeping. Uh, Actually, yes, she has a hard time doing everything. Uh, but the two girls bond together, and they share the same room, and Anna and Lucy goes underneath different therapies, trying to get her to talk it out, and so both Lucy and Anna are there in this home for 15 years. So uh, so now 1986 has come by, and both the girls of are age to go. They're no longer minors; they're now adults. So, uh, though I do think I think Anna was she was definitely younger than Lucy. I think Lucy stayed past her date because of the trauma that she suffered. So, uh, so uh, uh, next up, now we flash forward to 1986, and we meet the Belfrons. It's a family of four, nuclear family of four. They live in this really, really nice house. Um, and we see the mom's outside. And her mom's pretty tough. She's out there fixing a water main, and they dug up a water main. She's fixed it. Her daughter and her son and husband are having breakfast, and they're talking about the son's grades. They seem like an everyday normal family, nuclear family, and talking about life and plans, going to school. The sister and the brother are, they're close, but they're trying to get the son to take life a little bit more seriously, while the daughter has excelled in sports, swimming and whatnot. It's a perfect family. It really is. It's a perfect family. And as they're getting ready for their day, the doorbell rings. Now, up to this point, there's just absolutely nothing. There's no warning or nothing or anything like this. Pascal establishes the family and the family dynamic. They're just like any other family. They're bickering. They have goals for their kids. Uh, the moms, like the mom has a good sense of humor. When she cleaned up the water main, she brought in why it was clogged, and it's a dead rat. So, and of course, that gets the required reaction from the family when she walks up there. The mom wants her son to focus more on his future, because he's having a hard time settling in and concentrating. He graduated high school, but he's still struggling about where he's going to do for college. You get the impression that the dad would really want him to go into law school, but that's not going to be for him. So yeah, so like I said, it's a perfect Sunday morning, and the door rings, and the father goes and gets it and opens the door, and he looks up, and all of a sudden we look over, and there's Lucy. Lucy has come to the house, and she ain't coming by herself. She's got herself a shotgun, and she uses it. She kills the dad. Bam, blows his ass out. Um, and she walks inside the house. The family starts scattering, and she shoots the mom, knocks her down, and then the daughter runs, and the son tries to escape through the door, but Lucy has him by shotgun, and she tells him not to do it. Uh, so he sits her down, and he's about 18. He's about 18. The daughter is about 16 or 17. And she's Lucy's sitting there, and she's talking to the boys. She tells the boys to sit down, and and then she proceeds to she kills him, and she reloads her shotgun, and she proceeds to stalk the daughter, who hid underneath her parents' bed, and she shoots at the daughter, and she misses, and the daughter gets it and tries to run, and then Lucy shoots her and kills her. So in a matter of 3 or 4 minutes, we go from a happy-go-lucky family of four to four victims. And and with a shotgun, it is not a clean kill. It's messy. So she kills all four people, and blood's everywhere, and it's cold blooded. It's absolutely cold blooded. Well, Anna, and then Lucy then calls Anna, who's been waiting by a car, because she says, "Wait for me while I take care of some business," and she does. She calls Anna, and she tells her that she's done it. And of course, Anna's freaking out. She says, "What have you done? What have you done?" Uh, she drives over to the house, the Belfront house, and she walks into a house of carnage. Make no mistake about that. There's four dead bodies, and it is not a pleasant sight. And Anna is absolutely, positively shocked. Uh, now you're expecting to see, hopefully, you sort of hopefully, and you're sort of shocked when you don't hear it, but you think that the cops would be there, but there's no cops. The house is it feels like it's isolated. Um, Unlike last week when we talked about the strangers, the house and the strangers felt like they had neighbors to the side of them. This movie didn't feel that. It felt like the house was more like it was more like an estate. It was a it's a big house, and so you're not really surprised when there's no response from the police. Uh, but Anna and Lucy are in the house now, and they don't know what to do. Uh, they're trying to decide what to do, how to deal with just what happens. And Lucy, who's been traumatized, uh, like she screamed at she screamed about to the mother, like, "What did you do that? Why did you do that to me? Why did you torture me? Why did you kidnap and torture me?" You clearly think that right away that this girl has snapped and went around the bend. Um, it is he thinks that she's absolutely crazy. She walked inside the wrong house and killed the wrong family. He thinks that she is nuts as all hell. Hello, Daniela. Oh, Tiffany's still with us. Okay, awesome. Glad you guys are still here with us. We are talking about 2008's Martyrs. Um, so, they set the family up really well. Like the way you see them when you walk when Lucy comes in and kills them, you're just sitting there like this because you can't believe that it's just so cold blooded, including the kids, the two teenagers. It's like, whoa. I mean, this girl has just gone off the band. She's psychotic. She's Oh yes. Oh, okay. Awesome. Yes, this is a really good movie. Um, so you're just sort of stunned. You're trying to catch up. This movie has, most, it's going on, but you as a viewer, you're trying to catch up with what you just saw. Um, you know, because it's such a surprise, and you're not expecting it. Um, so the girls are inside this house. There's no one coming by. It's blood's everywhere. Anna is trying to talk down Lucy, but Lucy is still fighting the demon. There's a demonic woman entity after her, and she attacks Lucy, and she really messes her up really bad. Stabs her in the back, slashes her. It's terrible. I mean, in the back. I mean, you see the wounds. Uh, it's on her arms, her hands. Anna comes in there, and she chases her down, and she puts first aid on her. She stitches up all her wounds on her back and whatnot, and it stings. Anna's. She just can't process really what's going on. All she knows is she wants to try to help her friend, There's no attempt at all to leave the house. That was interesting to me. I mean, it was like you would think that as soon as you could just like run, but that's not the case. They stay. And as they stay, they decide, well, maybe since we're here, maybe we need to try to clean up the house a little bit. Uh, Anna is now afraid of Lucy. We see that in her actions. She's not really sure what to make of her friend. She says that she's still being haunted. She's still, the demons are still after her, even though that she thought that she had killed her tormentors, but she's still being under attack, and Anna sees the results of that. Um, so they decide that they're going to do is they're going to go ahead and take the bodies out and put them in the hole that Mrs. Belfront had dug to fix the water main. So the two girls they start taking the bodies out. Uh, so as they're doing this, of course Lucy is having a hard time. Anna goes ahead and takes over, and she is putting the bodies in one by one. She puts the boy and the dad in first, goes inside. The two women are inside a bathtub. And Anna tells Lucy to go relax and she'll take care of it. And as she does, and then as she's doing this, we see Anna in the bathroom, and then Mrs. Belfron regains consciousness. She's not dead. She's not dead. She's wounded, critically wounded, but she's not dead, and she's hurt. She got a shotgun blast in her, so it's like when she wakes up, she's not quiet. She's waking up with her dead daughter on top of her and severely wounded. So of course, she makes screams, and Anna tries to shush her down, and first Lucy hears her. Lucy hears the noise. She comes investigating, and then Anna has talked her into going back to relax. That she's got it. It's just her. It's her. It's Anna. Anna's making the noise, and she's got the daughter in her arms. And she's going to continue to take care of the bodies. And she tells Lucy to go inside and um, to relax. So uh, so that's what they does. Lucy goes back, and she's still seeing her demon in her eyes, and she tries to relax on the bed, and then she hears noise, and she hears it, not knowing at the time that Anna's back in the bathroom, and she's trying to help the wife out. She's trying to, she's going to try to save her life. Um, so what she's done is that she went in and once Lucy went inside her bedroom to relax, she locked her in. Anna locked Lucy in this room, and then she went in to help the woman to try to escape, but with conditions. She grabs the woman, and the woman says, "Call an ambulance." And Anna says, "No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get you out as far as to the woods as I can, but then you're on your own." Uh, and so that's what's going to happen. And I think it's more because Anna, at this point in time, she's not really sure which end is up. Um, she wants to believe her friend that this family, she was tortured here, but at the same time, she's looking at the proof. It's a family of four. They didn't look like they were just innocent. They're innocent victims of her friend's psychotic break. Um, and they've already had three dead bodies. She doesn't really want to have a fourth. So she locks Lucy in her room, and then she grabs the woman and she starts lugging her out. And she's really badly wounded. So, it's like she's not going to be able to do much once she gets outside anyway. But Lucy hears the noise and she hears the voices. And so she starts pounding on the door. She starts wanting to get out, even though the door's locked. And she goes after it over and over and over. And she finally breaks out. Um, Anna has gotten down to the ground floor and can see the front door ahead of her, and they're almost there, and then Lucy pops up, and Lucy is not unarmed, uh, even though they had ran out of shotgun shells earlier. But Lucy comes bringing steel. She has a hammer, and she proceeds this time she proceeds to kill the woman. I mean, kill her dead. Um, yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty awful. I actually, pretty awful. Um, but she sees her as her captor, and Anna, and she also sees Anna as betraying her. And when she hits the woman, she also Anna tries to stop her, and she smacks Anna, and Anna is stunned and falls down. After she kills the woman, the wife, Lucy, she squares around to Anna, and she says, "You never believed me. Why would you be helping the same person that tortured me?" Now Anna's sitting there going like, "There's just no way in freaking hell that this woman, her friend is sane." Uh, Hi, Katie. We are talking about Martyrs, 2008. Uh, so you could tell, you definitely could feel that there has to be something there. Lucy is so determined, and she's so focused that even when you have in your doubts, like, what the hell, there's just something in the back of your head that's sitting there going, and it makes you wonder. It's like, what if she's telling the truth? What if? There is that slim possibility, no matter how small it is. But by this time, Anna has no doubt that her friend has lost it. She's just like, the fact that she stays with her. She has feelings for her, and she tries to act on him a little bit, and Lucy pushes her off, saying, "What are you doing?" There's just nothing there. No one will ever get close to Lucy. There's just no way in hell that will ever happen. She might talk to you, she might communicate with you a little bit, but as far as getting close to you, she just no, just no. There's not going to be any of that. Um, no, I think if you went to touch her, you would be pulling back a stump. She is that far gone. Um, so she proceeds to stalk Anna across the living room. And to her credit, she does not kill her friend. But she is mad at her. She's angry at her, saying, "Why would you not believe me? Why would you not believe me?" And so she's frustrated. She sees the dead body. She sees the demon coming back after her. The demon attacks her, and you see her slicing. She's cutting Lucy, but Anna is now looking at the attack, and all she sees is Lucy smashing her head against the wall. That's all she sees. She doesn't see anything else. There's nothing there. It's just her friend pushing her, putting her head through the wall. Um, and So she sees that. She's trying to stop her, but Lucy gets up and she runs through the plate glass window outside into the rain. So by now, both women are pretty much beat up, cut up, what have you. And uh, Lucy gets up and she stares back inside the house, and she's come to the conclusion that, like, like, like we believe her. She thought that if she killed her tormentors, that she could maybe move on with her life. Well, that was going to happen regardless. Even if even if it had worked, there's no way it's not going to work and end well for them. Um, but she staggers in the rain, and she starts walking toward. Hey, Waffles. Um, we were talking about 2008's Martyrs. I'm sure you have a copy of this film. Knowing you, I'm sure you own a copy of this. Um, so Anna's in the house. She's looking outside at her friend in the rain, and she starts going toward her. And then Lucy realizes that she is not. She hasn't done anything. She hasn't alleviated anything, and she proceeds to cut her own throat. Anna screams, and she's like, "No, don't do it." But that's what she does. She cuts her own throat, and then Anna runs out and catches her, but she's dead. So everybody now there's five people dead in the house. You got the four people, the family, and then you got Lucy. So Anna goes inside the house and she stays the night. Now I don't know what would possess her to stay in the house any longer than she would have to. I mean, I really truly don't. If I was her, I would have tried to found some sort of strong cleanser, and I would have tried to wipe off all my fingerprints or something, or call for help or something, saying, I tried to get here, I was too late. I tried to find out what's going on, this and that, this and that. I would have tried that, but Anna does not. I think she's just got overwhelmed by everything she had watched, and so she cleans. She takes Lucy inside and she lays her down on the couch as she cleans her. She washes the body, and then she falls asleep on the couch with one hand on her friend. The next day she wakes up. Now again, no police, no neighbors, no police, no neighbors. There were at least 10 or 6 or 7 shotgun blasts. Nobody came. No, nobody. Uh, it also was really interesting too that it was a shotgun that she used, not a handgun. Shotgun, because I do believe the French have stricter gun control, so there's no pistols. It's just a shotgun that they use, for hunting or whatnot. That was interesting too. That was interesting to see. Uh, so she wakes up and Anna decides to call her mom. And so she picks up the phone. She's starting to talk to her mom. Her mom knows that Lucy's bad news, and she says, "Are you hanging around with that girl?" And Anna's like, "I'm pretty far away. I want you to come home." She says, "I'm pretty far away." And then she hears a noise in the kitchen. Something has rattled in the kitchen. Something has fallen off. And Anna looks, and she sees another piece fall, like a little wood piece fall down. And so now she's curious, and so she puts the phone down. She doesn't hang up with her mother, but she puts the phone down and she walks over and she pulls on this cabinet. It looks like a regular liquor store cabinet, like where you put your booze and everything in place or whatnot. But she pulls the handle, and there's a secret passageway. There's a passageway, and so Anna is it's dark, so she grabs a flashlight and she proceeds to go down the stairs. And she comes down and she comes down and she uh, turns on the light, and there's a hallway all lit up. And on either side of the hallway, there's a computer station. And on the hallway, you see these women in various stages of near death experience on the wall, pictures of them. And Anna's walking down the hallway. And it's well lit, it's very modern. And then she comes down to what looks to be like a bomb shelter. There's a door there with a padlock. And so Anna looks and she sees a key, and she grabs the keys and she kneels down and she unlocks the lock. She finds the lock after 3 or 4 tries. She opens the door and there's a ladder. And now you're starting to think about, like, whoa, okay, this went suddenly south in a hurry, like really quick. It's like, all right, so is Anna right? I mean, is Lucy right? Was she always right all the time, or is this just a what is this? Oh, there's a ladder, and so um, Anna knocks it down, and she crawls down and she climbs down inside, and inside there's another room. There's a room and a woman that's chained to the wall. Lucy was right. Uh, Lucy was absolutely right. That she had been held there, and she had been captured there, and she had been tortured there, and so Anna's looking around and she sees the woman, and she's got this metal, like a metal band over her eyes, and she can't speak, and she's been there a very long time, and she's just physically speaking, she's just a god awful mess. Um, if you remember the movie Seven, if you remember the movie Seven, where the man who was Sloth was in the bed and how bad he looked, that would be like this woman here, except that she was chained against the wall, but her whole skin was all messed up. She looked like she'd just been through hell and back. Um, and yeah, I could see people are bailing out on this. I don't blame you, honestly. I'm doing this dive, and then we're going to talk about the. We're going to analyze what we watched. But this is a rough movie. I'm not going to lie to you about that. Um, this is probably the most extreme film that we've ever reviewed here or talked about here on the Midnight Society. Um, yeah, yeah. I don't blame people for bailing out on this one. Um, but I hope that you don't. I hope that you come. I hope you guys can stay and hang in there because I do have some thoughts about this. I do, and we'll get there. So so Anna goes down there and she sees the woman, and she takes her keys and she frees her, and she guides the woman back up to the ground floor. She's gonna go ahead, or she guides her to a bath, like a shower, like a bath, and down in the basement, there's a bath area, so she tries to clean her out, and then she helps the woman by she finds out that the visor that are wrapped around her head has been stapled to her head, so she has to get a little screwdriver and she pops all the staples out of this woman's head so she could actually see. It's messed up. It's really messed up. And the woman is she breaks free, or she breaks free, and she's running. She starts running, and Anna follows her, and she runs back to the sink. She grabs a knife and she proceeds to cut herself badly, like really badly, because when she's running, she's scratching at herself. She grabs a knife and she scratches and she cuts herself. And Anna stops her, and she's trying to, like, what happened? Why did she do that? And she doesn't connect the two. She doesn't connect the fact that Lucy was doing the same thing as this other woman. She didn't realize that. So all she sees is this woman has cut herself, and so she's going to try to help her. Um, then the woman is trying to get away. She's trying to get away. She's just and they're still in the basement. And as this woman starts running, all of a sudden we see her get shot. Well, the woman had knocked out Anna, and then she started running, and she gets shot. She gets shot by a stranger. And Anna looks up, and there's these well-dressed people coming downstairs into the basement, and they're all well-to-do, and they'll have like dark clothing on, and they all walk in, and they grab Anna by the hair, and they pull her up, and they proceed to put her in a chair, and she's then told what's going on, that she has stumbled across a secret society. The Belfrons, the family that was killed in the beginning, were part of this group. The kids didn't know. Uh, maybe, maybe that's up to you to decide. But now they're here. They grab Anna. They tell her this is what's going on, and we meet the leader of the group, a woman named Mademoiselle. And what she tells Anna is that this group is here for a reason. What they're doing is for a reason. What they're trying to do, and that she shows these various pictures of women that are very near to death. It's not a near death. It's just like what they're trying to do is they're trying to create martyrs. They want to find out what's on the other side of this life, and they believe that. Um, yeah, yeah. Hail Cobra, hail Hydra. so, uh, Mademoiselle shows Anna various pictures of these women that look like they're to the point where they could see beyond this life. They're transfigured, so to speak. And so what they've been doing is they've been capturing women for the last 15 years or so, trying to get to that state, trying to get a woman to that state where she can see what's on the other side of this world into the afterlife. They want to know what's on the afterlife. So that's their whole goal. And what they do is they do it through sheer torture. That's how they do it. Systematic depredation and torture. So and there's and unfortunately for Anna, this works best on younger women. The younger the women, the more apt that they can survive and also get to that point where they can see what's on the other side. So we know now that Anna has just taken the place of the woman that she just tried to save. She also knows too that her friend Lucy was absolutely 100% right. Mademoiselle proceeds to tell her that after a while, after being after being driven to the point where these women will start to see things, where Lucy thought that she was being chased by a demonic woman, it was not. And we find out through a flashback what it was a woman that Lucy had left behind when she first escaped. She had left the woman behind. She was still there. She couldn't take her with her. It was either her or she would probably get caught if she tried to help the older woman that was chained. So the woman had been attacking her, the dynamic woman that had been attacking her throughout the movie, was all a figmentation of Lucy. It was her guilt. Her guilt manifested itself into creating this creature that kept on attacking her. And the woman that Anna had tried to help, that had cut her arm so badly, well, she was seeing cockroaches on top of her. That's what she saw. She was imagining cockroaches all over her body. And that's the reason why when we see her run, she's clawing at her skin and she's trying to cut her arm, because she sees in her mind's eye that she's covered in cockroaches. Um, did I say this is a horror movie? Did I say that? I hope I did. Uh, so they take Anna down to the basement and they lock her up, and then this is a part of the movie that probably will disturb most people. I mean, it's already disturbing already, but this is the part that probably will get most people to sit there and say, "Yeah, I'm all right with seeing what I've already seen." But I got to go through it because it's part of the movie. And I don't know. People could watch Martyrs and they could come back to me and say this is straight out 100% torture porn. Um, I don't care what you say, and you could be right. I'm not going to disagree with you. That's if that's how you see it. That's how you see it. Um, I I am not for torture porn. Anybody that knows me knows that well enough. I am not a fan of it. I don't like it. I don't watch it. Um, so when I tell you that I did watch this, that I did watch it, um, there's a reason for it, and I wanted to go with the story. I wanted to see what was going on. I wanted to see what was on this other side of the hill. So the next 20 minutes, 25 minutes of the movie, It basically shows the society is breaking Anna down. It's brutal. They force feed her. They make her drink. She doesn't want to. She gets slapped. She gets punched. She gets beaten. She does not get raped. They don't touch her sexually. They don't take off her clothes, but they beat her. They leave her in cold. It's it's systematic, and they're trying to break her down. She has resistance at first, but as it goes on and on and on, it stops. Her resistance starts to fade. Hey, Sean, we're talking about 2008's Martyrs from 2008. So her body starts breaking down, and sure shooting off. We don't know exactly how long she's been down there, but sooner or later, all of a sudden, she starts seeing things. She starts hearing things, and it sounds like her friend Lucy, and she starts to talk to her friend. Um, so so they they beat the snot out of her, and finally, it comes to the point where um, that she has gotten to that point where only three other women have gone before, and so now she has to go through one more ordeal. Uh, so so what they do with her, and yeah, um, they do something pretty horrific. They do something really horrific, and because they're trying to get her to the place to transfigure. So that's what they do. Um, and sure enough, she gets to that point. They see it in her face, they see it in her eyes, they see it that she's right there. She can go and she can see what's on the other side. So they call Mademoiselle and they explain to her that she's like right there. And so Mademoiselle comes over and they go down and they see Anna, and Mademoiselle, starts talking to her and she wants to know what's on the other side. And Anna has no more strength other than to whisper. And so we see Anna tell Mademoiselle what she sees, but we ourselves we don't hear it. We don't hear it. We don't know what she saw. We can only speculate what she saw. And so Mademoiselle straightens up, and then they call for a general assembly of the society because they want to know what was said to Mademoiselle. So we see all these folks coming to this house, um, Mademoiselle's house. Actually, they actually go to Mademoiselle's house, and we notice one thing that one, they're well-to-do, and two, a lot of them are old. They're older people. They're getting close. They're well off, but they're older. They're approaching the end of life. So it's very important to them to know what's going to happen to them on the other side. If there is there and is there what is going to happen on the other side. And only Anna can tell had told Mademoiselle. Now Mademoiselle is going to be there and she's going to share with what she learned. So they're all downstairs, they're all waiting for Mademoiselle, but she's up in her room and she is, instead of getting ready to tell the people what to do, what was said, she's actually taken up all her makeup. She's taken up her makeup, she's taken off her eyelashes, her wig, and everything else. She's not getting dressed to go down. She's getting undressed for what she's going to do next. And she calls her assistant and she says, do you know what's going to happen on the other side? Do you have any idea what's going to happen on the other side? Do you know? Her assistant says, I don't know. I have my I don't know. You know, and Mademoiselle, she then proceeds to open up her purse and she takes a gun out and she kills herself. She doesn't tell anybody what Anna says. All they hear is just a single shot. Keep doubting is what she said, and then she shoots herself. Um, so they're all the rest of the society is around them. They're talking, and then the last scene of the movie it shows Anna back at the other house, and she's in a catatonic state, and that's how the movie ends. So this is a this is a very dark movie. I mean, it's hard to I guess it's hard to talk about a movie like this solo. You sort of wish you had a friend to watch it with you. So this is a movie that you'll watch with somebody and you'll just want to talk. You might see it with a group of friends. I recommend that you do see it. Don't see it alone. This is a movie that, as a film lover, as a film goer, a cinephile, or what have you, this is the type of movie that you watch with somebody. Because trust me when I tell you this, after this movie's over with, you're going to want to talk about it. You're going to want to talk about what you just saw, uh, both pro and con, because there's both. There's both. I mean, like I said, it's all about perceptive. It's all about how you see it. You can see this as torture porn, and I wouldn't disagree with you. You can see this as a as a religious story, and I wouldn't argue with you. Um, there was a little bit, though not to this nearly the same extent, and she was there by free will, but it had just a sliver through the deprivation. It did have a little bit of a little bit of almost a sliver of a dark song ran through it because the protagonist in the dark song, she had to get broken down as well to get to that state that where she could see her guardian angel. She had to be broken down to that state so she could see that, she could feel that. Though she was not tortured, that was the big difference. She was not tortured. She was just put through. She just kept on doing the same thing over and over and over. Whereas Anna, she was broken down both physically and spiritually. It's one of the saddest moments in the movie is when they come and when she finally accepts the food they gave her. It's one of the saddest moments of the movie because we know that she's broken down. Whatever's going to happen to her, it is going to happen to her, and there's not going to be, and you never sense at all any last minute rescue. You're sort of hoping a little bit at the beginning, like, okay, the cops are going to have to surely show up because the Belfronts are missing. I'm sure not everybody that they're friends with is part of the society. I'm sure people are wondering where they're at. The daughter, I'm sure they're wondering where they're at because the shooting happened on a Sunday. I'm sure she was missed in school, but nobody comes by. Nobody comes by. There's not going to be any last minute heroic rescue. Anna is there. She's going to be driven to that point where she transfigures and she sees what's on the other side. Um, I will say that the woman who played Anna, um, uh, her name is Morjana Alaloy, Alawi. She's a French Algerian actress. Uh, and Martyrs was her third film, her third, her third film, and she did Martyrs. It reminded me very much of the same type of casting for the Human Centipede. The Centipede, they casted the two girls in that, and that was their first movie. Their first movie, that was the Centipede. Imagine that's. I think they casted the movie at least with Anna. They cast the movie like that because you needed somebody who was new to the business, so they would do the part. I don't think. I mean, the woman who played the woman who played the actress who played Lucy is a French Chinese actress named Mylene Japone, and she had tons of credits, but her part is not nearly as extensive as the first actress, Morjana. Morjana had to do all the heavy lifting. Mylene only had to get to a certain point, and I mean, so we didn't see her being tortured. It really looks, it really looks real. That's one thing I'll say right now. It's really uncomfortable to watch. You really want to ask her, like, how did you do that? How did you do that? The makeup and the effects of this movie are outstanding. They're on point. They're on point. It looks like she is going through everything. And I do mean everything. I did not tell you what she had to go through. You'll have to find that one out for yourself, because you just will if you dare to do that. Um, it looks on point. And if you doubt the last scene, right, the part, there's one part where she where it's something extremely graphic happens, and you sit there and you wonder, yeah, that wouldn't happen. It does. It can. I've seen that. I've seen I've seen videos of that, and that can happen, and that can, yeah, and you could go through that and survive for a little bit. Uh let's see. Shaw says, yeah, I got to upgrade Martyrs and get that Umbrella Blu-ray. Yeah. Um Now the director of this movie got a lot of heat because of the graphic violence of the film. He's not he's he actually is a mainstream director. He has a lot of credits. He's written 7 screenplays. Like I said, Pascal. Let's see if I could say his last name. Pascal Lozier. I can't pronounce the French names. He has done other films, including a movie he did. He's done 2 movies in the States and a series called the 13, the series. He directed an episode there in 2012. He also made a movie in America after Martyrs. After Martyrs, his next movie was a movie called The Tall Man, which starred Jessica Biel and William B. Davis. I watched that movie. That movie is great. Great. Would I say Martyrs is great? Yeah, I can't do that. I can't sit there and say Martyrs is great. I can't also tell you that Martyrs is going to be a repeat watch. I will most likely never watch this movie again. Um, I do know that they made the American version of it, and that was horseshit, because they could not go nearly as far as the French did. There's just no way a mainstream American film is going to go ahead and do what we just saw here in this movie. Not to that extent. There's just no way that you're going to see that here in American cinema. We don't have the balls for that. Uh, Not anymore. Not anymore. Maybe back in the 90s and the 80s, you could remake this movie and get away with what the French did. But movie was made 2008. There's just no way that the American version would ever be on the same length. Uh, the acting itself is really, really good. Both women, actually, all the whole cast was really strong. The family that gets killed in the beginning, you definitely feel like, you really do. You really feel they're in the wrong place at the wrong time. They give there's no clues given about what you're going to see. There's no winks or sly or like knowingly, like there's no, the kids, the 2 teenagers, innocent, innocent. They had no idea what their parents were up to, and they paid for it. That was really shocking. I mean, you would think that when Lucy comes in, that's what she would do. She would kidnap the kids, tie them up and kill the parents. But she takes them all out. She has no compunction at all, and her acting uh, was on point. She's definitely has suffered a tremendous psychotic break. I kept on thinking about the movie Room while I was watching this. Which is based off a story where a man kidnapped this woman and kept her locked up and prisoner for like 17 years or so in Europe. Had two kids with her and everything else. I mean, it's terrible, absolutely terrible. There's been cases where people have been kidnapped and tortured, human trafficking, that sort of thing. That's what I kept on thinking about. I kept on thinking, like, you know what? This story's not so far fetched as one would think. You're like, oh, holy shit. But I didn't feel like the story. I felt the story could happen. I felt the story was based in reality. I could see the victims of being kidnapped and being tortured. I could see that in Lucy. I could see that's how she would act. It felt real. It didn't feel fake at all. Um, I think the only part that I probably had a little bit of trouble with was that the fact that Anna stayed. I think once she walked in the house and saw the carnage, I just feel like she would have just turned and ran her ass out of there. Like, okay, I'm supporting you, girlfriend. Walk in there, see what's going on. Go like, I support you, but to a point. I'm out of here. Um, that's the only part that felt like I just didn't see her. I just didn't see her. Well, when she's trying to rescue the mother. Why the hell would you try to rescue her and drag her out to the rain into the woods and then say you're on your own, knowing full well that she was dead? She wasn't helping her at all. She was just prolonging her agony. I mean, if she really wanted to help her, she would have called for the authorities. She would have called for the authorities and maybe armed herself against her friend. I don't know. But either that or Anna herself was just totally blown away what she saw. She just retreated within herself. Pascal leaves this all up to you as the viewer, what her motivation would have been, as the character goes. Why didn't she call for help? Why didn't she tell her mother what had happened? Why didn't she tell her mom to send the police? Why didn't there's a whole bunch of questions again that you'll want to talk about when you watch this movie. You'll want to talk about with a friend or fellow cinemaphile or anything. When you sit there like I did and I watched it by myself, you're asking questions that are hitting the ceiling because there's no one here to bounce it back to you. Um, this movie probably not the best movie for me to talk about as far as a deep dive goes, but it is what it is. Uh, the movie lost money. It was made for 3 million euros, and it only garnered only garnered a little more than $1 million. So it lost money, but it was low budget anyway. So the money lost this movie has become a massively popular cult film. Though I will have to say that of all the times I've been in the horror film community here on YouTube, this is the first time I've ever heard anybody do a talk about this movie. I have never heard anybody talk about this movie before tonight. And I can understand why. I can understand why this is not exactly like, hey, let's get some friends together and talk about Martyrs. I did hear that a lot of people hated the American version, and I can understand that because, like I said, I don't see it. I don't see this movie being remade here in America on that level. The French make some fantastic films, right? They do. They make some great horror films. High Tension, The Descent. I think that was French, if I'm not mistaken. The Descent. The aforementioned Oh, Climax. That's another good French horror film. Well, I wouldn't say good. Um, that's another one. Irreversible is a French film that's really out there. Um, that one I'm not sure you'll see us talk about here because I do know a little bit about that movie, and I don't know if I really want to go there with that one. Um, yeah, I probably not. That might be a little bit too much for me, especially solo. I definitely would like to have a panel up here for that one, but they make some fantastic horror films, and so this is, as far as the filming goes, it's filmed really well. The lighting is good. Um, the atmosphere is stark and cold and sterile. Um, again, like the acting is on point. Everybody that's involved in this, they played their part. Where the small part the smallest part to Mademoiselle on point. Of course, the two actresses played Lucy and Anna were the stars of the show. All right. Um, I saw this on Tubi, so I don't own a copy of this movie, so I can't tell you if there's any deleted scenes. I can't tell you if there's any commentary. I can't tell you anything like that. You might be able to find this on secondary markets. You might be able to find a copy of this on Amazon or eBay. I would dare say that you'll probably have to pay a pretty penny to do that. Sean mentioned Umbrella has the Blu-ray. If you type in Umbrella Films, they might have you can get yourself a copy of this film there. I'm sure they have special features galore there. Hopefully they have a director's commentary because I would really love to hear that. That I would like to hear very much. I'd like to know what he thought about when he was writing this movie. So yeah, that's Martyrs for tonight. I know we generally go 2 hours on the society. I'm going to talk a little bit about what's coming up on. I'm going to come and tell you what's going to go. Oh, will tell you that at 10:30, 10 o'clock or 10:30, I do know that Gory B movie will be on. I do know that she will be talking about the Universal Monsters. They're going to have a fight night tonight. So all the Universal Monsters, they're going to square off against each other in a fight. Me personally, I'm going to take. I told her I would take these two girls from Martyrs and watch them march over to the Universal fight and kick ass. Um, so that's happening at 10:30. Next week here on the Midnight Society, I think we'll go ahead and close out the month with Red Bins. I have 3 more red bins to show you guys. And so you don't know what's in the bins. I don't know what's in the bins. All I know is that I got 3 bins there, and then that'll be the end of it. February will see us. We will be talking about. I'm going to be covering 2 movies. I think I can cover it one night. I'm going to be covering. Actually, I'm going to be covering another movie from Tubi. I know, right? I'm going to see about doing a watch along with you guys too, if I get these headphones to work. And maybe we will do a watch along of the 1976 movie Grizzly, if we could do that. I'm going to see if my headphones work. If they do, we will do a watch along on here on the Midnight Society. I also will probably be bringing up The Last Exorcism 1 and 2. I want to talk about that. I have both those films, and I want to talk about that. I do know in March, we will be doing another collaboration with Gory B Movie, Danny Nightmare, and John Grande. But we're going to keep that close to our vest to let you know what we're doing. But there will be another collaboration. We had so much fun doing The Strangers together that we want to do something special for you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for sticking around for this. I really do appreciate this. I know this movie it's not the most popular horror film in there, but it's something worth talking about, something worth covering, and so yeah. So I know we're going to be covering The Last Exorcism 1 and 2, and I believe that we'll be covering Unleashed. If things work out, um, I will have a special co-host for Unleashed, uh, starring Jet Li. But we will see what we see when we see it. Uh, as far as a questions with, next week, uh, before we start the Midnight Society next week, we do hope, and I will put that link down below in the description box. We hopefully you will come out to an American Werewolf in New Jersey because he will be hosting the ISC Midnights, and we are going to be talking about I Trapped the Devil. That's right. I Trapped the Devil. This is an outstanding film right here from IFC Midnight. We will be watching and talking about this movie next week. Well, we'll be watching it, but then we're going to be talking about it next week. So I Trapped the Devil. It's going to be held on Mike's channel, American Werewolf in New Jersey. And it will start at 6 o'clock Eastern Time, 3 o'clock Pacific Time. We do hope that you'll come out for that. We've been having some really outstanding shows on the ISE show. Super, super good shows. Hopefully, you guys will come out there and support those. They put out some great movies. Hi, Brandy. How are you? I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here. And thank you for coming out. We just finished our deep dive into the French classic horror film Martyrs. Yeah, get your family, get your friends and family, and wrap yourself around the TV for that one, kids. Uh, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. All right, I'll let you know what's coming up in the next couple of weeks on 8 Questions With, because I know you guys want to know about that. So this Tuesday on the 24th, we will have stuntman actor Brian Dodds will be here with us. Brian is a extremely skilled stunt person, and he's also an actor who's climbing the ropes on up. He will be here talking about how he balances both sides of his career. On the 25th of January, we have screenwriter and director Jim Heffernan will be here. Crazy Jim himself. He has directed 4 movies, including 2 movies that I've watched and reviewed. One is called The Angry World of Brian Webster, which was a lot of fun, and also Destroy All Sisters. If Casey's still in here, he will get the meaning of that. Destroy All Sisters is a play off of Destroy All Monsters, because Jim is a kaiju fan. And so we'll be talking to him about that on the 25th. On the 26th, we have our good friend Mike Markoff will be coming back to the program. Mike's career has really taken off since last time we talked to him. He just got done completing a film with Glenn Powell called Hitman. He has a role in that. Glenn Powell, as you know, is a rising, also another rising star who did the Korean War film Devotion, and he also appeared on Top Gun Maverick, and he is on the rise. So is Mike. Mike has also done a couple of really awesome westerns. One should be hitting the screen this year, later on this year, called Homestead, and the other one's called The Legend of Haz. That's already out, and it is a good film. I have seen clips of that, and something I want to get from me, myself, and I. All right. On the 31st of the month, we have the co-owner of Ghostwalk Films. We interviewed the female half of the dynamic duo. We interviewed Victoria Varden earlier, and now we're going to talk to Rocky Carledge, who also owns Ghostwalk Films, and we're going to get his impression of the Ohio independent film industry. We'll be talking about how he got his start into the business, and where he sees Ghostwalk Films going as well. All right, and February is going to be an outstanding month. February is going to be exciting. Not that January wasn't, because it certainly as hell was, but we got some stuff for you in July in February. On February 1st, we have a double header for you. A double header. Mr. Bones is in the house. Boglins. Thank you for coming in. We will be going to across the pond on the 1st of February at 2 o'clock. We will be interviewing YouTuber, horror tuber, all around sweet person Lisa Loves will be here with us on Wednesday, the 1st of February. Lisa Loves has a tremendous YouTube channel. She has a lot of knowledge about films, and we'll be talking to her about her movie collection, her movies. She also is, I'm thinking, and we might be find this might be actually be exposed, but I'm thinking she's a member of the Cinema Squad, and we're going to find out if that's the case or not on the 1st of February. And then Wednesday night, 8 o'clock here on back here, we will be talking to our good friend Anna, aka Cass Love, who is a tarot card reader and a crafter. She does both crafts and she also does tarot card readings. And she does them for a lot of friends and family and what have you. So we are going to we're going to talk to her about her gift to read tarot cards. A lot of people can do it, but a lot of people can really understand. And Cass Love is definitely one of them. I've seen her work. She's got some skills, and so we'll be talking to her about all things tarot come the 1st of February. And then on the 2nd of February, Thursday, our good friend Angela from Morbid Heart Designs returns to the show. Angela was our third guest. She was our third guest that we ever had, and she's going to come back and talk to us about what she's been doing since we last talked to her. And I will be joined by special co-host Hobbs Horror. That's right, Hobbs is going to come in and sit in with us and hang out with us for our interview with Angela at 8 p.m. And then Saturday, the 4th of February, the last one, and I'll let you guys go. Our 4th of February at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, 1 o'clock Pacific. We will be welcoming back actress, director, screenwriter Crystal Lowell, and her co-producer and actor Chris Cortese. Crystal has written and directed her third film called Afterglow, and we will be talking all things Afterglow with her on Saturday the 4th. We might talk a little bit of horror in there. I didn't get to do that too much last time, but we might talk a little bit more, and we'll talk a little bit of Sign Seal Deliver and whatever else. And we'll also talk to Chris about his career because he is a up and comer as well. Yes. Angela's having a party. Yep. Angela's going to be fun to talk to. She's going to be terrific. She's a wonderful guest. She's a tremendous artist, and looking forward to talking to her again. And super glad to have Hobbs Horror hanging out with us for that show. All right, that is all I got time for. I want to thank you guys all for coming out and hanging out, and for Martyrs. And again, Gory B movie at 10 o'clock or 10:30. And thank you guys all for coming out and staying. I really do appreciate it. Yep. Until next week. Again, next week we'll be talking Red Bins, and hopefully see you here. Thanks so much. Peace.